Ray Bradbury's The Veldt was the first story of the semester that evoked true horror to creep over me. Others had conjured visceral reactions, concern, and disgust, but none felt as pointedly formidable as the murderous, AI-obsessed children. Despite the parents witnessing the warning signs of the house and the children, their ability to orchestrate any parental discipline atrophied to the point of severe negligence. This lack of personal independence, coupled with a need for instant gratification, led to their gruesome demise. Their children had communicated their emotional attachment to the nursery, perhaps not in words, but in actions. It, being the nursery, had become the acquiescent parental figure to the children, making the actual parents obsolete. Parents still controlled the purse strings and physical control of the house, but the children trained the nursery to loathe the parents. In that room, the sole authority belonged to the children based on a bored and calculated symbiotic relationship. Like a moth to a flame, the parents were lured into the nursery trap despite their raging intuition begging them not to. This story is terrifying. It lies within the realm of complete possibility as we see modern AI advancements happening too regularly. Our social need for instant gratification has soundly manifested itself in our technological practices. The smart devices created to ease everyday problems too closely resemble those of Bradbury's machinations. The murderous children, coupled with valid premonitions, held the mirror to today's society and sent shivers down my spine. The imaginations and warnings of 70 years ago are substantiated in today's actuality. This horror lies not in the imagined or on the page. It is a past echo ringing true in a society that mostly cares not to hear it. To condense the essence of Bradbury into a mere sentence, author Lauren Weiner defined his style as taking homey Americana and bending it to a violent or grotesque direction. This notion is certainly true of The Veldt, as we witness the stereotypical American dream of suburban home and two kids destroyed by affluence and technological modernity. Weiner further indicates Bradbury's strong distaste for technology manifested in science fiction's golden age of great technological guesses. Perhaps only guesses, Bradbury's ideas of technology-induced alienation and familial degradation appear today. Author Anita T. Sullivan discusses Bradbury's use of science fiction and fantasy within his works. Despite Bradbury's claim that science fiction could happen, implying that fantasy could not, Sullivan argues that there are elements of both genres in Bradbury's work. She argues that Bradbury balances horror and fantasy in differing scales of levity, where horror is designed to contract one's spirit while fantasy expands it. Spirit expansion is recognized in The Veldt when automated homes and intelligent nurseries can alleviate stress on a person to allow them more free time for leisure. Conversely, spirit contraction follows closely on expansion's coattails when considering the cost of full automation, lack of independence, loss of creativity and family connection, and ultimately, death. Bradbury's predictions are reified by author Joe Patrauch, who claimed through Bradbury's use of symbolic settings, the future could be seen. Patrauch's argument rests on the scientific plausibility of a story's setting. He further claims that the plot is merely a device to make more plausible the examination of the setting. To this point, Bradbury takes creative leaps into designing artificial intelligence that closely resembles contemporary designs of today. Moreover, Patrauch recognizes the effects settings can have on a human psyche. For example, the children's ready acquiescence of double parricide to embrace their suburban Serengeti. By understanding Bradbury's deep mistrust of technology and the suspension of time, one must cross-compare his definitions of AI to today's definitions, as well as examine AI's effect on children. In a similar concept, Lauren Giglione postulates how science fiction can be an indicator of tomorrow's news. Providing the caveat that science fiction cannot always accurately forecast the future, Giglione agrees that science fiction is a way of considering present possibilities by working on their consequences. One crucial impact of Giglione's article, a throwaway line hedging into a larger argument, is that science fiction may better prepare us for the future. If this is the case, Bradbury's imaginative writings can be read as both a warning and an emotional tempering. By understanding Bradbury's deep mistrust of technology and the suspension of time, one must cross-compare his definitions of AI to today's, as well as examine AI's effect on children. By modern definitions, Camino Kavanaugh double defines AI as making a machine behave in ways that would be called intelligent if a human were so behaving, and growing resource of interactive, autonomous, and often self-learning agency and the machine learning sense that can deal with tasks that would otherwise require human intelligence and intervention to be performed successfully. It is Kavanaugh's stance that while AI is poised to be boundlessly beneficial for humans, the risks in research, design, and development can easily undermine its benefits. Further, Kavanaugh questions what forthcoming policies will be implemented regarding AI usage, development, and expansion. Interestingly, one topic Kavanaugh discussed was the ethical sense of accountability, or how to track who ultimately holds responsibility for the effects of an AI system. For this matter, as a question of redundancy, who is responsible for the parent's death? Is it the children who trained the AI system? Is it the parents for being willfully ignorant and neglectful towards their children? Is it the company that designed and sold the system? Or is it the AI system itself? One argument to be made is the parenting style that shaped the children's attachment security and self-concept. Attachment is a mental representation of self in relation to others, and self-concept is the culmination of all the sets of self-cognition, such as physical appearance, physical abilities, intellectual skills, and competence with peers and with parents. Doyle et al. Argue that the more secure the attachment, the less hostile and more adaptive a child becomes. I argue the permissive parenting style directly correlates with the children's wildness. Permissive parenting style, defined by Don Carter and David Welch, means allowing a child to regulate themselves with little to no interference from the parent. The lack of parental engagement allowed the children to seek comfort and intellectual stimulation from the nursery. Nathan G. Fryer and Peter H. Kahn Jr. questioned children's intellectual, social, and moral health after being submerged in technology all their lives. Technological environments encompass a child's learning space, leaving Fryer and Hahn to question which benchmarks we rely upon to establish the benefits and the harms of technology. They further delineate that technological environments do not exist independent of many other cultural influences that shape children's everyday experiences. Culture guides not only the shape of technology, but also the adoption and interaction behaviors of the children who come of age interacting with those technologies. That is to say, children are a product of their environment, which begs the question, what do the adults and/or parents make normal for the children? A study was conducted to test the perceptions of and behavioral intentions towards learning artificial intelligence in primary school students. Researchers Chai, Lin, Jiang, Day, Xu, and Quinn felt it necessary to gauge children's preparedness to enter into an increasingly AI-centric world. From their findings, they discovered AI literacy is a significant predictor of the student's self-efficacy and the social good. Interestingly, this study was conducted to determine children's willingness to engage with and become literate in AI, specifically to determine their readiness to join the workforce. I find this parallel of submerging children in AI to prepare them for the workforce and then studying their behaviors frightening. The children become the test subject in the world's lab, who often develop unexpected educations that result in shocking outcomes. There is a beautiful symmetry of this study being compared to the child psychologist being horrified by the nursery, especially because he was involved in its creation. In my estimation and understanding of the previously cited sources, as it applies to the Welt, Bradbury's fears were not unfounded. In relinquishing their own autonomy to the convenience of a smart home, the parents taught their children the act of trusting and mirroring AI. By mimicking their parents' lackadaisical life practice, the children turned to the nurturing entity of the nursery. Similar practices are noticed today. Consider the phrase iPad kids. And neglecting to maintain true human relationships in favor of artificial ones, we revert to a bestial nature that can be easily exploited. Bradbury couldn't see the future, but he did recognize the signs.